In life, we often face crossroads where our decisions shape not only our futures, but also the lives of those we hold dear. I never imagined that one of my choices would lead me down a path of betrayal, guilt, and deep regret. Yet here I am, recounting a story I wish I could erase, a story of how I betrayed the man I love in the name of ambition and misguided loyalty. My husband and I had been married for 5 years. He was a kind, hard-working man with dreams of climbing the corporate ladder. His dedication to his job was unwavering, but despite his efforts, promotions always seemed just out of reach. Every time he came home with news that he had been passed over for another opportunity, I could see the pain in his eyes. It broke my heart to see him question his worth, to see him wonder if all his hard work was ever going to pay off. I wanted to help him, to support him in any way I could. But how? I wasn't in a position to influence his career directly, at least, that's what I thought at first. Everything changed when his boss, a man with significant power in the company, began to take an interest in me during corporate events we attended together. His gaze lingered too long, his compliments were too personal, and his invitations for private conversations grew increasingly frequent. At first, I dismissed it as harmless flirtation. But then an idea began to form in my mind, a dangerous, reckless idea. What if I could use this attention to help my husband? What if I could secure his promotion by indulging his boss's interest? The thought horrified me, but it also tempted me. I told myself it would be a sacrifice for the greater good. I convinced myself that it would be worth it if it meant my husband could finally achieve his dreams. The night it happened is etched into my memory like a scar. My husband had gone on a business trip, and his boss invited me to dinner under the pretense of discussing my husband's career prospects. I knew what he wanted, I wasn't naive. Yet, I went anyway. As the evening unfolded, I felt a growing sense of dread and inevitability. When he leaned in closer, whispered promises of securing my husband's promotion, and placed his hand on mine, I didn't pull away. My mind was clouded with justifications, this is for him. This is for us. It's just one night, But as soon as it was over, the weight of what I'd done crashed down on me like a tidal wave. I felt sick to my stomach, disgusted with myself. The man I had betrayed wasn't just my husband, he was my best friend, my partner, the person who trusted me more than anyone else in the world. And I had shattered that trust without him even knowing. True to his word, my husband's boss recommended him for a promotion shortly after that night. My husband was ecstatic when he received the news, his face lit up with a joy I hadn't seen in months. He hugged me tightly and thanked me for always believing in him. But instead of feeling proud or relieved, I felt hollow. Every time he looked at me with gratitude or kissed me goodnight, the guilt gnawed at my insides. I couldn't escape the memory of what I'd done or the knowledge that his success was built on my betrayal. I tried to bury the guilt by focusing on our life together, but it was always there, lurking beneath the surface. Simple moments, sharing a meal, watching a movie together, became unbearable reminders of my deceit. My husband noticed my change in behavior and asked if something was wrong, but I lied again and said I was just stressed. The guilt became too much to bear. One day, as we sat together on the couch, I broke down in tears. My husband held me close and asked what was wrong, his voice full of concern and love. That only made it harder to confess, but I knew I couldn't keep lying to him. Through sobs and trembling words, I told him everything, about his boss's advances, about my decision to go along with it, about the night that changed everything. As the truth spilled out, I saw the color drain from his face. He pulled away from me, his eyes filled with disbelief and pain. "How could you do this?" he whispered, his voice shaking with anger and heartbreak. "You didn't just betray me, you betrayed us." There was nothing I could say to justify my actions. All I could do was apologize over and over again, though I knew my words could never undo the damage I had caused. In the days that followed, our home became a silent battlefield. My husband couldn't look at me without anger or sorrow clouding his eyes. He began spending more time at work or with friends, avoiding me as much as possible. The distance between us grew wider each day, and I knew our marriage might never recover. I sought therapy to confront my guilt and understand why I had made such a terrible choice. Through those sessions, I realized that my actions stemmed from a misguided belief that my husband's success was more important than our integrity as a couple. In trying to help him achieve his dreams, I had destroyed the foundation of trust and love that our marriage was built on. Months passed, and while things were far from perfect between us, my husband agreed to attend couples therapy with me. It wasn't easy. Every session forced us to confront painful truths and raw emotions, but it was a step toward healing. I don't know if our marriage will ever fully recover from what I did. Some wounds run too deep to heal completely. But I'm committed to doing everything in my power to rebuild the trust once shattered and to prove that I'm worthy of his forgiveness. Looking back on this experience fills me with shame and regret, but it has also taught me valuable lessons about love, loyalty, and the consequences of our actions. True love isn't about grand gestures or sacrifices that compromise your integrity. It's about honesty, respect, and standing by each other through life's challenges. If there's one thing I hope others can take away from my story, it's this: no success is worth compromising your values or betraying the people you love. Ambition can be a powerful force, but when it blinds you to what truly matters, it can lead to devastating consequences. As for me, I will carry the weight of my choices for the rest of my life. But with time, effort, and genuine remorse, I hope to find redemption, not just in my husband's eyes, but also within myself.